So starting through our overview for tonight is we kind of want to just introduce everyone quick, go through our 2023 dates and locations, where the website is as a friendly reminder, any new rules for this season. Overall, good reminders to have. We're going to let our product support team take control and do a kind of a how to register and any frequently asked questions that they get. Our adult skating committee will do a adult competition series overview. I'll very quickly touch on 2024 and beyond, and then we want to answer any questions we can while we're here. And again, this will be recorded and sent out to anybody. So starting out, again, I've already introduced myself. I'm Cassie Prescott. Anything qualifying competition related, I'm the contact for at HQ. Anything registration related, EMS issues, we go to product support, and then I'll hand it over to Kara to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kara Scudner. I'm the chair of the Adult Skating Committee. So many of you either know me as a competitor before or have emailed me with your questions. And if I don't know the answer to your question, I'll find out or direct you to the right person to ask.
And then Ian, do you want to quick introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Ian McAdam, and I'm also on the adult committee. I generally get the questions when it comes to what can and cannot be done for the technical components. And I'm also the vice chair for competitions for the adult community.
Perfect, thank you. And then Cassie, you're not our sole product support contact, but I would love for you to just quickly introduce yourself with presenting tonight. Okay, Cassie's having a quick Wi-Fi issue, so we're just going to move on and we'll let her introduce herself before she starts the registration overview.
Hey, Cassie, a couple people are saying that they're still not able to get in.
Oh.
Sorry, Cassie.
Oh, totally fine.
Zoom wanted to crash on me right at the opportune time. So my name is Cassie Papajohn. I'm the director of product for our software products and integrations here at US Figure Skating and manage our product support and QA teams. So we've got a great team in product support that mainly you'll be reaching out to, but I'm here also as a point of contact.
Sorry, everyone. I had disabled the waiting room, but we have a few people stuck outside.
Yeah, I was stuck and I had to come in through a whole different route. It kept saying it was going to let me in and wouldn't let me in. So I went to re-register and it said join meeting in process. But yeah, it's kind of odd.
Perfect. Just let me make sure these people are in quickly and we'll get to the rest of the programming.
And Cassie, if you add me back to host, I can definitely assist with that.
Thanks, Cassie. Let me do that. Fantastic. So moving forward, we have our 2023 sectional dates and locations. We have Eastern Adult Sectional Championships that are March 10th through 12th in Kissimmee, Florida. They're hosted jointly by the Florida Interclub Council and the Osceola Figure Skating Club. Florida Interclub, it's their main name on it. We are specifically at the Osceola Figure Skating Club's rink, and they're going to be kind of the primary contact overall. So I wanted to give them a shout out. We are at the Midwestern Adult Sectional Championships, March 10th through 12th as well in Fort Wayne, Indiana, hosted by the Fort Wayne Ice Skating Club, an LOC we're very familiar with. I'm sure many of you have been there before. And then we're excited to be in Henderson, just right outside of downtown Vegas for Pacific Coast Adult Sectional Championships, which is March 3 through 5. And it's hosted by the Vegas Golden Knights Center of Excellence. That is hosted at their Lifeguard Arena, which is where their AHL team practices. We had a championship series event hosted there last year, so excited to be there again. For adult championships, it is April 12th through 15th in Salt Lake City, hosted by the Salt Lake Figure Skating Club. It's been there before. It'll be there again. We love going back to Salt Lake. And it's been a little while, so we're excited to be back. So just keep in mind some deadlines. Next week, Thursday, December 15th, the announcement is available and registration opens for both sectionals and championships. It's all opens at the same time. It all closes at the same time. February 1st is the close of registration. There are no exceptions. You guys know this. It's no, I was waiting another week to see if I passed a test. There's no, I couldn't find a flight, but now it happened. It's you register by February 1 or you're out. I'm sorry, but we have to keep it fair that way. Another reminder, you all are pretty familiar as it's happened within the last couple of years, but the official competition website is under US Figure Skating's qualifying competitions. There's no longer the dual websites, kind of where do you look, where do you find this? We're going to post everything competition related under qualifying competitions, competition info. You can find under that page, whatever section you're competing in and adult championships. I'm going to hand it over to Karen Ian to talk about the new rules for the season, some friendly reminders.
Hi, everyone. So hopefully you've all heard about the first new rule, which is actually an entire new event, the championship solo dance. This is a championship event, which means that the skaters in this event do have to go to their respective sectionals and qualify. I'm not going to read all of the detailed rules to you. You can look them up. But basically, this is a championship event. You must have passed a pre-gold dance test to enter because it is comprised of a pattern dance and a free dance, and they align with a gold pattern dance and the adult gold solo free dance. So please come enter. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this event is still 6.0, even though it is a championship event. And then next, we have a new rule for showcase. So this year, the showcase committee decided that wearable inflatable costumes are not permitted in events except for the open inflatable event and production numbers. So because of this, and because our showcase events are qualifying events for National Showcase, we are not permitting wearable inflatable costumes in the emotional performance or the lyrical pop character comedy events at the adult championships or at adult sectionals. If you perform in a wearable inflatable costume, you might be disqualified. Next slide. These are just a couple quick reminders and small changes that we've made for the championship adult free dance, pre-gold free dance, gold free dance, and the Masters Open free dance. One choreographic element is required. Go check out the rule if you're competing in that to figure out exactly what you're going to need to do. And this should make a lot of our dancers happy. For the adult gold solo free dance and the championship adult solo dance, only one Twizzle series is required this year. And the last new rule, most of you may have seen this before, but it's officially in the rule book now, is that we have new rules for qualifying rounds. If there are more than 24 skaters in a 6.0 event, it will be split into qualifying rounds and then a final round. For IJS, it will only be split if there are more than 36 entries. I think that's it for new rules.
Want to go over some important reminders before we get into the registration side of everything. Adult championships and adult sectional qualifying events. Again, qualifying events are anything that have the word championship in front of it. You may not skate up a level at any events at adult championships or the now 11 qualifying events at sectionals. All tests have to be passed by February 1, 2023. Passing a test after February 1, which changes your level, is disqualification. There are no exceptions to that rule as well. February 1, that is your deadline for everything. Get your tests in, get your registration in. Any tests that don't change your competition level, like a moves in the field, are fine. Oops, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the next slide. And then for adult championships, you must be 21 by February 1st as well, age 50 for centennial. Again, February 1 is the deadline for everything. We want to try to keep it simple, even though we know it's not. For adult sectional championships, both non-qualifying and qualifying, adult sectional championships overall, you have to be 18 by February 1st. Again, February 1st is your deadline. You need to be 18. For non-qualifying events, you are allowed to skate up one level. Again, the 11 qualifying events that have the word championship in front of, you may not skate up. So if you would like to skate up one level, we had to disable that in our registration system due to the qualifying events not being able to. So if you want to skate up a level, register for the level you are currently qualified for, and then email product support saying, hi, I'm Cassie Prescott. I want to skate in bronze women's, but I am only pre-bronze currently. And then we will review your entry and we will manually move you into that bronze event if you want to skate up. So again, you double check your tests. I know Cassie's going to hit on this a lot when it comes to the registration, but you need to enter the correct level. We will move you up for non-qualifying events and sectionals, but we need to make sure your tests are in, and you can self-report them if they are not. And also our favorite question, the schedules are not yet available. So with that, Cassie, I'm going to hand it over to you to go through registration and just EMS product support as a whole, and then we'll go over to the adult competition series.
All right, thanks, Cassie. So tonight we're going to walk through how to successfully manage your competition registration, taking a look at competition registration, your competition portal, and then some things that you have at your fingertips, while walking through also some common questions. So for registration, you're going to log into members only. And the screens may look slightly different, just depending upon if you're on a mobile device or desktop, and you're going to click EMS. And then that will take you into choose competition registration here from this white screen. The default view is non-qualifying, so you will want to click qualifying tab up at the top and then find the given competition and click register now. As Cassie just mentioned, if you are skating or wanting to compete for the non-qualifying events, you're still going to go underneath that qualifying tab. This was done to simplify registration for the LOC. Diving into registration, you have an overview of pricing and some legalese, just stating to the current rulebook. Confirm your profile information. A lot of this you cannot change. If there is anything that you do need to change, please reach back to us at product support. And then the next best is your test pass. Please confirm this. Just note that if you have taken a recent test, a tester does have time to submit that, or as a very busy volunteer, I'm sure many of you know that they may simply have forgotten. So please reach out to them, or you can reach out to us at US Figure Skating at either product support or member services. And many may also find that some of your older tests taken back in the day may not be in the database, and that drives your eligibility for events. And if you see that your highest test is not here, please feel free to reach out to us, and that is something that we can assist with. As it drives your event eligibility on the next page, you're going to see the events that you are eligible for. Don't be concerned. There are actually a lot of complex rules that you guys have, especially when it's around dates. We will help you get registered. As Cassie had mentioned, please reach out to product support. There isn't a concern. We absolutely will help you get there. They may tell you to register for different levels, such as, again, in the situation of skating up. And then we're going to confirm that information, making sure that it's correct and it is we have authorization, and then we'll make that change on your behalf. You can also add a coach. They'll be receiving information about your entry. You'll also have the ability to manage that through your competition portal as well. You're going to confirm waivers that are completed once a season. So if you've already done it, you're going to see the nice green check marks. And then you're going to go through our safe and secure checkout process. Once that is completed, you will receive a confirmation email. If you did enter a coach, the coach will be included. And if you're in a partnered event, your partner will also receive that registration confirmation. After registration, all aspect and management of the event will be done in your competition portal. So that's where we're going to travel to next. The competition portal is going to be that communication and management hub for the competition. Up at the top, you'll find reminders and pertinent information that the LOC or the events team at US Figure Skating has deemed appropriate to output for you. So information does change, be on the lookout. You can toggle back and forth between different reminders using that arrow and that carousel. You'll see visual indicators throughout the page, helping to identify and keep you on track of much needed information. You'll see things as complete and not complete, along with color coding. So the red is for not complete and correlating with green that is complete. The deadlines will also be output, so keep an eye on those. Sometimes the LOC may extend a little bit, some of them, just to be in a benefit to you all, but keep an eye on those items. You'll want to confirm registered events. Many of you skate in multiple events and may be deciding on which events to register at different times throughout the process. So keep an eye, make sure that you don't miss that registration deadline of February 1st that Cassie let us know is so important. Once that schedule is posted, you're going to be able to view your personal schedule, not only of your registered events, but also of your practice ice. From this, you'll be able to take a look at the schedule and complete your practice sites, and we'll dive into practice sites here in a moment. You'll also be able to manage your music and PPC, manage the coaches, whether or not you have additional coaches attending, or need to make any changes. There is a medical registry to have completed this year for all safety and well-being of participants in case of an emergency. So please watch for that. It does happen on season based, just like waivers. So if you've completed it within since June 1st, it will carry forward. If not, we'll ask you to go in. It's just a few required pieces, and then the rest of them are optional. And then adding an emergency contact, and this will help your LOC in case they do need to quickly act. The biggest piece that I know many people are always clamoring about is practice ice. So we offer different types, and based on the competition, they can configure different ones. But for terminology, pre-purchase is when you're going to purchase that credit to be used later. The selection window is when you're going to be able to use those pre-purchased credits and be able to add and remove sessions. Following selection, most likely is going to be open sales. So you can purchase additional sessions or purchase any that if you missed the pre-purchase window, and then be able to manage those sessions as well, being able to add and remove. If open sales ends and the LOC moves to on-site sales, only the LOC will be able to add and remove. So in that case, you're going to be going up to that check-in desk or whatnot that is most likely there in the lobby of the facility. Inside of practice ice and schedule, you're going to have visual indicators. The blue bookmark identifying the things that are on your schedule for both competition events and practice ice. And then the $sign for anything that is selected and simply awaiting payment. And you're going to see that during open sales. This schedule is interactive, where you're going to be able to choose a date, as well as be able to choose your views, whether or not it's available sessions, only looking at specifically your schedule, or looking at the full competition schedule. I believe each of the competitions are in a multi-rink facility. So please make sure you're looking at that arrow toggle up at the top to rotate between each ice sheet. You'll also, when you're selecting items, there are confirmations messages that come up. In this view, if you do remove something, it will give you a confirmation. So it's not a one click to remove. It does require 2 clicks, just in case you happen to make a mistake as you are scrolling through. Please watch out as that in the same view as you would see here with that kind of red X and the red writing with the blue confirmation buttons is where you're going to be needing to choose the events in which to purchase credits or use credits for. So if you're in multiple events and you have credits for multiple events, such as maybe a free skate event and a showcase event, it's possible there is a open practice ice. And so it will, and if you are eligible for both, it will ask you which credit you would like to use. In addition, it does validate against eligibility for that registered and scheduled event. And so it may say that you are not eligible if it has not been configured in that fashion. If you think something is off, you absolutely reach out to the LOC as well as us at product support. From a music perspective, again, that visual indicator letting you know that it's completed or not completed, as well as that deadline to always look forward to. And you're going to be entering music by event by segment. So if you are an event with multiple segments, keep an eye to walk through here. If it's not needed, it will say NA. As you upload your music and access there, it does need an MP3 format. And it's after you choose the music file using the navigation system on that device, it's going to confirm by listening and then entering in the copyright information. Please, please, please make sure that you are listening to that music and in its entirety. I know many of you are in many different events, as well as may have various versions of that music. And so it's easy to select the wrong one. Enter in that copyright information and then save your music. You'll be directed back where you're going to be able to get that green confirmation check mark and you have a date in which that was modified that you can check. You can always update as needed until the deadline. Once that deadline is met, you are locked out. At that point in time, you will not be able to do this on your own. You will have to contact the LOC or product support, and we can assist in getting that completed. But please keep in mind, there are volunteers that need that information, and it does take time to complete their steps. And for some competition, there may be a fee for missing that deadline. For the IJS events, you're going to access PPC in the same fashion, taking a look at by segment, by event, and then you're going to be able to choose either your jumps, spins, steps, spirals, twizzles, lifts, depending upon your event, and then you're going to choose the element from that list so it narrows down. This is used by the accountants to upload into that accounting database, which is going to prepare each of the panels, both your tech and judging panel, so they can help see that next element that's coming in the program. It just kind of helps to make sure that they know what they're looking for. You can change and update this at any time, again, before the deadline. You can toggle the elements on or off to move them up and down, or delete and add new ones. Again, update as needed and watch that deadline as you are locked out when that deadline has been passed. If you need something completed after the deadline is passed, you'll need to reach out to the LOC and or product support, just as you do with music. Another key area is your coaches, and only the skater can identify that coach. Product support and LOC are not able to select the coach on your behalf because we don't know when you're doing that hiring and firing. You can choose up to 2 coaches for singles and 3 for ice dance and pairs. And you're going to search for the coaches that are in the database that have been identified as a coach or instructor. They identify themselves. If you search for them and you do not find them, it is possible they did not identify as a coach or an instructor. They need to identify because then they'll have compliance. Sometimes there are duplicates in here, so make sure that when you put in first name, last name, and states, and there's multiple people potentially with the same name across the country, take a look at those results that come back to make sure you're choosing the one that's probably in the right location. And then you can always remove or update as needed. The coach has the ability to view your music and PPC as being completed underneath My Skaters. So they'll be able to expand the skater. They'll see which event or events, plural, that you have registered for, along with your completion status from music and PPC. So you may get also some friendly reminders from your coach helping you along the way. Your coach sees a full comprehensive schedule of all practice and competition sessions that all of their identified skaters are on. They're included in email communications. Some are automatically triggered, as well as some emails that are created by the LOC or the headquarters staff. And when you identify a coach, it's someone that's expected to be on site for the competition. And they're going to be monitored for compliance. They will also receive information regarding compliance if they are not compliant, because at check-in, only a compliant coach will receive a credential. So a few frequently asked questions as you're troubleshooting along the way. If you don't see your event during registration, the first question we would ask is, are your tests accurately listed? Please also contact product support. State the event that you would like to register for. Let us know that if the highest tests are not accurate, and they'll help you get registered and move you into that correct event. As Cassie mentioned earlier, when you write into product support, please tell us who you are and what your member number is, as well as what competition you're registering for. I know at times you may be in the process of registering for multiple competitions, both non-qual and this qualifying structure. So it helps us narrow down where to start, along with what is happening and what you're expecting. For practice size, some questions we get is, how do I purchase after the pre-purchase window has closed? And at that point in time, you're going to have to wait until open sales begins. If it won't let you add additional credits, you have reached that limit that has been set by the competition. In some cases, more credits may be available at a later point in time. But always review the announcement and information that is sent from the LOC. If it won't let you schedule a credit, ensure that you're scheduled to a competition event by looking at your My Schedule. And if the event's not there, please contact the LOC. If you don't have a credit for that event that is configured as an eligible session, you may not be eligible. So if it's only, let's say, a dance session and you don't have a credit for a dance event, or you're not in and registered for a dance event that hasn't been withdrawn, you're not going to be eligible. Online, underneath on the white pages in the menu, there's help and resources and some various guides that you'll find helpful here underneath the skaters and coaches. In addition, there you can contact product support, and the email is also the best way, because that does go into a ticketing system that has had multiple eyes and can be tracked. So those are the best ways to take a look at things. At this point in time, I'm going to turn it back over to Cassie.
Thanks, everyone. 1 second if I reshare. So again, any registration issues, contact product support first, and if not, they will escalate it to either our events team or double check with, membership committee, any other rules we have to sort out. I'm going to hand it over to Kara to talk about our favorite, the adult competition series, and what you can expect this year. Not a lot has changed, but again, good to overview and let her touch on anything new.
Hi, everyone. Like Cassie said, we haven't really changed much for the adult competition series this year. Last year, we had a record number of participants. I want to say it was about 45. Unfortunately, our program coordinator could not be here tonight, and she is actually dealing with some other stuff. And luckily, we have a new volunteer, Marilyn, who I think is here, who's going to be the one reading your emails and tracking all the points. So I'll just go over what the adult competition series is, and then if there's any questions about it, toss them in the chat or email me. So the adult competition series is aimed at our skaters in the adult 1 through bronze levels, and it is open to any skater in those levels age 18 and up. So this is an opportunity for some of those skaters who are not yet 21, but still want to compete in the adult competition track. Skaters earn points based on their placement in the free skate event at local non-qualifying competitions and sanctioned virtual competitions. These points, combined with the points earned at the non-qualifying competition held in conjunction with each sectionals, will be used to determine the final series placement within each section. So if you only want to compete in one local competition plus sectionals, you can do that and you can still participate in the adult competition series. You may also compete and can submit results from as many competitions as you want, but we're only going to count the highest placing one, which is not necessarily based on just your placement. It is based on your placement and the size of the group. And there are really cool events for this. So when you register, there's a $20 registration fee, and that goes towards paying for the trophies and medals for the finalists at each section. And I know that there's some people on here who've done it before, and they're really nice trophies. So if you or any skaters at your rink are in the adult 1 through adult bronze levels, you should sign up for the adult competition series. Can I have my second slide, Cassie? Thanks. So this is just some more details. They're not actually really changes for this season, but the series runs from May 27th, 2022, so this past Memorial Day, until February 19th, 2023. So if you've already competed in the free skate in a competition during this time frame, you can still submit the results and get credit for it. Any eligible skater who wishes to participate in the adult competition series final will register during the same registration period as everything else, December 15th through February 1st. Registration for the series will take place on Form site, and we'll be sending out a link for that next week. Registration for sectionals will take place in EMS, and obviously registration for whichever other competition or competitions you're participating in will take place in whatever format the competition has decided to use. You, the skater, are responsible for submitting results to adultcompetitionseries@gmail.com. This can just be, it can be a digital result, a screenshot, a photo of a paper result, whatever, we're flexible. The only thing is that all results must be received by February 24th to be considered for the standings. This is so that our volunteers have time to compile the points and placements before the sectional competition. Skaters must be registered for the non-qualifying competition held in conjunction with sectionals before February 1st. Again, no exceptions. If you are interested in this as a skater, a coach, telling a friend about it, on members only, we have a handbook that goes over all of this in detail, plus a little bit more. And like I said, we'll be doing an email blast in the next week or so. That's it for adult series.
Thanks, Kara. And then can you just throw the proper email to contact if they have any questions about this, whether that's Casey or adult competition series, in the chat for people to have.
Yeah, and I'll just also mention here, it's adult competition series, myself and Casey are the appropriate contacts. And I'll add them in the chat.
I know it's on the slide, but just
Yep.
have to have it there as well. And then outside of that, that really kind of concludes the programming for tonight. I do, before we open up to broad questions, want to just mention 2024 and beyond. We have just closed the bid applications for 2024, 2025, and 2026 adult sectionals and adult championships. We are finalizing those bids, who's eligible to host, who we can award to, and we're working through that with the adult competitions subcommittee. Outside of that, we're still finalizing bids themselves, especially as it pertains to the Pacific Coast. You will have an update primarily about 2024 and the future seasons as soon as we can provide one. I promise you, it's information we want to finalize and get out to you. We just have to work through specifics to make sure all LOCs are ready and know what they're getting into. But with that being said, any questions? I know I'll go through the chat here. Feel free to unmute and quick ask yourself, or quick ask your question, excuse me, or raise your hand. Aviva has some good notes in the chat. Oh, videos. A great question. An update about videos will be provided before the New Year's. There are logistical issues that we are working through. I understand you haven't had an update, but again, before the new year, you all will receive an update.
I see we've got a couple other questions in the chat as well, Cassie.
Yep, I'm just paging through. For sectionals and non-qualifying, we can skate up like bronze and it's 6.0. So for any non-qualifying event at adult sectionals, you are eligible to skate up one level. Again, that's any non-qualifying.
Okay.
If I'm pre-bronze, then I can't compete at nationals, just the ACS and at my sectionals. We do not offer pre-bronze at US championships, US adult championships. So you can't compete there. However, yes, you are eligible to compete at sectionals and the competition series. Kara, anything to add there about other opportunities?
That's actually part of the reason that the adult competition series was created, was to give the skaters who don't have a championship event and our lower level athletes who can't compete at the adult championships yet, a big event to look forward to and feel that they had something important, because all of our skaters are important to us and we want to give them as many opportunities as we can.
I just want to reiterate Aviva's note that before you register, if you're registering for an open event, an open free skate event that is, or a qualifying event, that any qualifying event has the word championship in front of it. For example, there's silver ladies, there's multiple levels of silver ladies due to the age banding, but championship silver ladies is the qualifying event. So make sure if you want to register for the qualifying event, you look for that word championship in front of it. If you're not seeing it, email product support, email events@usfigureskating.org.
Okay, I see a comment mentioning that there are non-qualifying events at the adult championships. So yes and no, every single event at the adult championships is considered a qualifying event, and that is why you cannot skate up. So if you have not yet passed your bronze free skate test or a dance test or a pairs test that makes you eligible for the adult championships, you may not skate up a level. You need to pass that test before February 1st. At sectionals, you're welcome to skate up.
Any estimate on when the tentative schedule will be out for championships? Not necessarily. You know, a big chunk of the schedule does depend on qualification. Through qualification, we know how many spots there are. So I would estimate the end of February, early March, a tentative schedule, a final schedule within March. And that's because we need to wait till the close of entries in February to see what the registration numbers are. That's why I'm saying end of February, early March, depending on the time that the referee needs to make that schedule.
Yes, and that was a question for somebody who wanted to buy a flight. If you can, come for the whole time. It's a blast. Michaela, your question about the hotel, that's going to depend on the specific competition, and that's going to be in the official announcement, which will come out next Thursday.
Yes, and I know every LOC is working on reserving some blocks if you want to stay at that block. I know a lot of people like to do, you know, what fits them best, whether that's an Airbnb with friends, whether that's staying where they have points. But again, everything will be available on December 15th. If for some reason an LOC is adding a hotel or anything additional, there will be a note saying more information coming by a specific date. But as far as I know, everyone has a hotel in there.
Anya, your question about qualifying, that's something we'll consider and talk about in the future. Nothing is going to happen for this season. But your point has been heard. Thank you. And Kristen, you do not need to compete at any other competitions before sectionals in order to participate in the qualifying events. The adult qualifying structure is sectionals and the adult championships.
Again, if you have any questions about spins, jumps, etc., or the calling clarification, reach out to Ian. That is iceskater75@comcast.net.
Ashley, your championship solo dance question right now, there is not a plan to add championship solo dances for other levels. And we don't have championship events down through all of our lower levels in our other events. It's not to say it couldn't happen in the future, but there's not any plan for that at the moment.
Again, adult bronze is 6.0. Do you know where the Eastern sectionals in Florida will be broadcasted? At this point in time, it will not be live streamed whatsoever. If that changes, they will let you know.
Thank you for your advice, Rochelle. Everyone should take that to heart.
Is adult championships really going to be broadcast on Peacock? No, at this moment, adult championships will not be broadcast live.
Any other questions? Michaela, the music line can be found in the well-balanced program link on the members only website. And if you send us an email, we can help you find it.
Any other questions? Feel free to mute yourself as well.
Just in case anyone was reading my email address, I typed it wrong. It's Ice Skater, not whatever that gobbledygook I wrote earlier. My bad. Sorry.
I had a question. Can you register for sectionals? Can you register for multiple events like compulsories and free skate and a showcase, or are you only limited to just like one event?
I love you, Rach. Rach is awesome.
You can enter as many events as you are eligible for and the competition offers.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
As far as official practice ice, at adult championships, that is still to be determined. We will find out next week. Me and the LOC had a call this week, and as of that moment, it sounded like it was not going to be offered, and that's frankly, it's because of ice time. It's how many skaters you can get on the ice and about volunteers for announcing and playing music. So double check on December 15th, but as of now, no. Is adult championships, is there a limit on the number of events you can enter? Yes, for adult championships, there is a maximum. The maximum is 4 at adult championships. At adult sectionals, there is no maximum. Well, with that, again, any questions, please email either events@usfigureskating.org or email Kara, Ian, or the adult competition series. I'm reading this question in the chat. For adult competition series, only one competition result is being counted for the point system. No matter how, thanks, Kara, take over.
2 results, but it is 1 competition besides the placement at sectionals. So the skater is welcome to enter as many non-qualifying competitions as they want, but in order to make this more accessible to more skaters who might not have a lot of local competitions, we will only be counting 1 non-sectional event plus sectionals.
Dean, yes, Pacific Coast Adult sectionals are March 3 through 5. I will go email our web updates team about why it's only showing the 3rd. It should be that entire weekend. Rodney, it's funny you mentioned the acronyms. That's something we've talked about at US Figure Skating as a whole, not only with adult competitions, but as it comes to our national qualifying season, as it comes to synchro, as it's theater on ice, everything in between. We have a lot of acronyms, so maybe a little fact sheet with them all is something we need to create.
Mary, I see that Marilyn has answered your question, but I'll just read it out loud here. What happens if the competition happens after February 1st, but before sectional? So this is for the adult competition series. If the competition that you're competing in happens after February 1st, but before February 19th, it can be included. If it happens between February 20th and sectionals, nope.
So again, email events@usfigureskating.org or email Kara, Ian, or the adult competition series with any specific questions. As you sit on everything you've learned tonight, if you think of anything within the next few hours, few days, email us. If you have a question while registering, it's okay to double check before you make that payment, or as always, any issues with EMS or registering, reach out to product support. We want to help you all, so let us know what you need. Appreciate everyone's time. And again, this recording will be sent out to everyone.